Pairing. Bluetooth connected.
What up, what up, what up?
What's going on, everyone? We are just getting set up. So, what I want to do. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, guys? Okay, the microphones are good.
Good evening. Thank you guys for joining. Give us a quick moment. Can you go on Facebook and see that our audio is working good? Thank you. We'll be starting in just a few moments.
Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. There is a static noise.
Is there?
I think there is. And I believe it may be from the other microphone.
Yours or mine?
These two. It is being close to
How
that.
do you know?
I have someone that told me.
Crackle. Yeah, but so on which feed, though? Your audio is terrible. Hear you echo and buzzing in the background.
On Facebook, no noise. So these ones are like
It's green. Is this green? Yeah, that's green.
TikTok and Instagram.
The audio is horrible on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
So if I take this off, and I put that there, and I put that there, how does that sound? Is that a bit better? Does that sound a little bit better?
Facebook was good. There was no static before.
And now
So
there's
we're
static?
using this with Facebook.
Yeah.
It's not as bad, right?
All right. Well, there's not much we can do about it. We're dealing with some pretty cheap equipment, so
We're still young at it. We're still young at it.
all right. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Raw Real Podcast. We are your hosts. With me, as always, is Coach Tony T. And this week, guys, I'm Drained Shane.
You know what? I would say nobody calls you that, but I think this weekend was we had a good time. We had a good time.
We definitely did, guys. We were celebrating Tony's 40th birthday. So happy birthday
Yes,
to Tony.
sir.
He's 40 years old. A lot of people would say it's all downhill from here, but I think it's uphill from here, Tony.
It's been downhill for a while.
It's been downhill
It's been downhill for a while, baby. But no, honestly, it's fun. It's great. This is being 40, man. This is being 40.
This is 40.
Like back in our days, being 40, you already look like a grandparent.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happened in the new age. We're eating something. Is there something in the food? Like what's happening?
Possibly, man. Possibly.
Yeah.
We're not growing things. We're eating things organic anymore. We're relying on processed foods. Kathy says happy birthday. Cozy, thank you very much for joining. Tony, can you pull up the segments for the intro today so I can read it off for the folks at home? Today, guys, we're going to be going over a few segments. The great debate, along with what keeps me off, what's trending, story time, and conspiracy talk. Guys, we had uploaded a video on our TikTok feed this week, last week actually, and it was conspiracy theory related. And let me tell you, it was our best performing video on TikTok thus far. So we decided we'd introduce it as a segment moving forward, and I hope you guys really enjoy it.
Yeah, everybody likes a good conspiracy.
Everybody likes a good conspiracy theory. And guys, if you're watching, make sure to click like, follow, share our content with your friends and family so they can join in on the laughs as well. We're going to start off with our first sponsor this evening. It is Pop Art Boy. Pop Art Boy.
Pop Art Boy.
We promise you we'll be coming up with a jingle as soon as we can. But if you're looking to elevate your walls of your home or office with an eye-popping, conversation-starting custom art piece, look no further because Pop Art Boy has everything you need to bring your vision to life. You can book a free consultation to go over your design options along with pricing, and in just 2 short weeks, you'll have a beautiful custom canvas to hang on your home, office wall, and it will sure to draw in customers into your store as well. So Pop Art Boy, thank you very much for your sponsorship. If you'd like to book a consultation, make sure to go to his Instagram page at Pop Art Boy on Instagram. We love you very much, Pop Art Boy. Thank you.
Thank you, Pop Art Boy.
Awesome. All right. Well, getting into the first topic here, the great debate. We have a couple things that we want to discuss with you guys. The first one is toothpaste application. All right. Tony, do you apply your toothpaste with a wet toothbrush or a dry toothbrush? So, meaning, do you wet the toothbrush first and then apply your toothpaste, or do you do it vice versa? You put the toothpaste and then you wet it.
It's got to be wet. It's got to be wet. I don't know if I'm really strong on it. I would try the dry, but it's got to be wet. That's what she said.
That's what she said. I like that. I like it wet as well. I've actually tried both, and I find that when you apply it on a dry toothbrush, it just doesn't lather up the teeth like you want it to, right? What's going on, Jordy? So I'd say wet. For those of you who do it dry, there's something wrong with you. Go to therapy, get help. Maybe consult your dentist. He might have, or she may have, some better advice to provide you as it relates to your toothpaste application. But I feel as though that on my mouth it's also very soothing. I use cold water. I don't know if anybody brushes their teeth with hot water
I don't think so.
or lukewarm water.
Maybe lukewarm at worst, but generally speaking,
Well, actually, what about those people who have like sensitive teeth or sensitive gums? They might use lukewarm water.
for the warm cold water, it's not a deal breaker. It could be either or.
It could be
Because
either.
if you're sensitive,
Yeah, but not
It's all
warm,
good.
right? We don't want warm water, but nonetheless, I think when you're brushing your teeth, you want to have a cold toothbrush or cool toothbrush with the toothpaste with a wet texture to it. So I definitely think that if you're doing it dry, there's something wrong with you. You need to seek help. What do you guys think in the chat? Jordy says facts. All right, we sincerely appreciate his feedback. What about you guys in the chat? What do you think? Would you apply your toothpaste to your toothbrush, wet or dry? We got wet. We got more wet. I think it's unanimous. I don't think there's anybody in the chat who's disagreeing with us on this one, Tony.
no.
So I guess
We can move on.
it's not much of a debate, is it? Right?
Not really.
If in our chat, the result is unanimous. But then again, we have a very small following. But we appreciate each and every one of you. I don't know if we could use this number to scale it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need more. We need more people to go against it. And if you have anything that you'd like to debate about,
Yeah,
we can bring it up. Let us know.
Let us know in the chat. All right.
Oh, this is a big one though.
Yeah,
The next
moving on to the next one. Which one is the better soda, Coke or Pepsi? Tony, what do you think? I know Tony's answer on this one.
It's got to be Coke.
It's got to be Coke.
Yeah, it's got to be Coke. Honestly, I don't know about. Look, Pepsi's not bad, but it's so light.
Light in terms of what? In terms of flavor? Or
Yeah, in terms of
like pop?
flavor, in terms of pop, I don't know. It's like maybe I don't know, flattish. I don't know.
You don't know?
But look, I don't hate it enough. But I've been programmed to like Coke. The Matrix has programmed me. I've been indoctrinated to to like Coke, and that's what it is. Look, Pepsi. Cozy here says Pepsi, but to mix it with alcohol, it's
he goes
Coke.
with Coke. I think you know what? I'm not a big fan of either Pepsi or Coke, but if I'm gonna go with one, it's gonna be Coke. But there are people out there who say that Pepsi is less gassy than Coca-Cola. What do you think about that?
What is gassy? Less gassy?
Pepsi is less gassy than
Yeah.
Coca-Cola,
Yeah, it is.
right? So do you feel more bloated when you're drinking Coke? Do you get more bloated with Coke, or do you get more bloated with Pepsi?
I wouldn't be surprised, but me, I mostly have Diet Coke, so that's what eliminates that. But yeah, Coke probably you'll get more burp out of it if you drink a Coke.
More
You know,
belching, more belching.
Coke
Jordy
in a
says
can.
Coke
Yeah.
in a can, but Pepsi from a fountain is this. Pepsi and Coke from a fountain is the same shit. Guys, what do you think in the chat? Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi? Who makes the better commercials, Tony?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Who makes
Oh
the better
man,
commercials?
like back in the day, those Pepsi commercials were iconic. The Pepsi logo was
It solid,
iconic, man.
Yeah,
It was
nostalgic.
iconic. Like I remember I had this rubber ball of Pepsi. It was such a cool logo, man.
Yeah, it was
And the
nostalgic.
white Pepsi.
The clear
uh,
Pepsi Clear,
Not only Pepsi Clear, but
the
the
branding.
packaging, the branding,
Yes.
the white. Sick.
Do you remember Pepsi Clear, guys?
I think Coke, all they have is the diet drinks. You know, diet drinks are better. They have better taste. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real, like.
Yeah.
But also, Coke, all really they had is that freaking white bear.
That's true.
And they had Bill Cosby.
Well, they also had Bill Cosby. They also had Santa Claus.
Yeah, they had Bill Cosby.
They had Bill Cosby.
Bill
Bill Cosby.
Have a Coke in his mouth and shut the
Fuck
hell
up.
up. Oh, Pepsi points. That is crazy. I did see a documentary where a guy was trying to get Pepsi points and stuff. Now, granted, I didn't finish it. I still have to finish it. Man, I fall asleep. I can at nights. But yeah, man. Apparently, like he tried to get he got a bunch of points, and he got enough points to get the jet.
The Jet. Yeah, I remember.
And apparently, like they screwed him or something.
He spent something like $3 million to try and get all those Pepsi points because he did the math and he was like, "This is a no-brainer, right?"
See, Amanda says more fizz, less Coke.
Kathy says, "Is it just me or does it sound scratchy?" I think it sounds scratchy. We need to update our equipment. So guys, bear with us. We do appreciate it. Unfortunately, we don't have the most high-tech equipment. But going back to the Pepsi and Coke debate, who's got the better commercials? I say Pepsi had the better commercials for sure. But who gets the better celebrities? Is it Pepsi or is it Coca-Cola?
Who they had? Pepsi had what? They had Britney Spears.
Yes, they had Britney
They
Spears.
had Bill Cosby.
Did Pepsi have Bill?
Oh no,
Cosby?
sorry, Coke had Bill
Coke
Cosby.
had Bill Cosby.
Like they're both not doing the best decisions. The celebrities. I don't know. Name us who you have as a great Pepsi, whatever. I guess ambassador or what?
Yeah.
Like
Sponsor, ambassador.
whatever. See, Pepsi. Oh, Pepsi had MJ. That is.
That's
Well, MJ. There's rumors. Honestly, and me personally, I don't believe the MJ stuff.
yeah.
Personally, I find it's just people looking for additional money,
Throw hate.
look, they probably got money for that documentary because in court they lost. So,
Yeah.
but either or, any celebrity's gonna have something bad on them. But MJ, Britney, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's pretty solid.
That's a pretty good roster for a Coca-Cola
But Coke, they have the bear and they got Santa Claus.
yeah, that's pretty much.
They got Santa Claus.
But hey, listen, their branding and their marketing is so good that a coffee mug.
See, Jordy, Coke got Santa Claus. There you go.
Got Santa Claus. But I mean, these mugs that are from back in the day, they're worth a lot of money. Like the original brand made Coca-Cola machines, glasses, and things like that. Those things.
In
go
those
for a
little
lot of money.
fridges.
Yeah, they go for a lot of money. All right. Well, I think Coca-Cola wins that debate. Coke is better than Pepsi.
You see that, Cozy?
There you go. Coke is better than Pepsi. Almost unanimous. Almost
See, Marie
unanimous.
says, olden days Coca-Cola, Pepsi's trying to keep up. Ooh.
Ooh. Mari throwing some shade there, eh? We like it. We like it. All right, moving on to the very last topic of the great debate. Will AI replace human jobs?
I think it's maybe look, some jobs you still need some of that empathy, but actually AI AI is handling that kind of, I guess. Um, it is looking that way. More and more jobs are going more towards the AI chat. Um, whether it's your cell phone provider company or any other company online that have online chats,
Yeah.
there's almost mostly AI, and to get to a human is actually very hard. So it is happening. Telus did have to lay off a bunch of people,
Right.
and I'm pretty sure it's because they don't need really, like when they Telus had this union thing happening. It was like, okay, like we don't need them. Either we could outsource them,
Right.
or we have the AI chat, and that's it. That's all, man. Simple as
I
that.
think it's some pretty
It's
scary.
happening. It's happening.
Thank you, Jamie. We're very sorry for that. We apologize, but we're working on it. I think AI tech is really, really scary. I mean, to give you some examples, there was a couple of AI generated songs, right? One of them by Drake and The Weeknd, all right? And I'm telling you, you can't really tell
No.
that that's not them that made that music. And it's really scary. Another thing that I saw was Google Assistant has the ability to call and book an appointment over the phone for you. And it was really, really crazy when I watched this video and how they demonstrated it. Google Assistant was able to book an appointment for the user at like a nail salon or a beauty salon, and it was given very specific directives in terms of what what the caller's availability would be, right? And it has to react to the person offering the available time slots and be able to provide or calculate whether or not those availabilities coincide with the user's availabilities. And they were successful in doing so, man. It was crazy. So I don't
That's
know,
pretty
man.
insane.
For me, it's some pretty scary shit. In terms of it being able to replace humans. Right now we're seeing a lot of jobs not being backfilled because the baby boomer generation is for a lack of better terms, you know, expiring. And so
We are.
we don't have enough young folks coming in and taking and backfilling those jobs. So it's crazy to see it. I think that it can be really dangerous. There are some people who are publicly speaking about it and saying that there should be some form of legislation on it because it could cripple our economy and put people, out of work. Because if you can get AI to do it, and that businesses are already implementing AI technology and what it is they're doing. So whether that's analyzing metrics or implementing best shared practices. Things are being leveraged by AI, and it's pretty scary. I mean, people can write articles in 10 seconds now. Without putting in minimal thought and effort, they can resort to AI. I mean,
Yeah.
what about students? What if they go ahead and start using that now
For
as a form
essays.
to do their essays and stuff like that? Guys, what do you think? Do you think AI is going to replace human jobs at some point? And is it going to be in the near future? And if so, how soon do you think it's going to be? Tony, how soon? How advanced do you think AI is right now?
Honestly, it could be as fast as a blink of an eye, man. We don't know. Uh, I I can't even tell you. I think it's gonna be very soon. We're gonna see it. It's gonna happen, and I don't think there's much you can do about it.
That's
There's not much you
crazy,
can do
man.
about it.
That makes you wonder, eh? How are the next generations going to make money if we're not able to make if they're not able to make money in the good old fashioned way of having a job and earning a paycheck?
Like the only way you're gonna have to, everything is gonna be online. Everything, I know you could get paid to review stuff, this, that, but really, what are you gonna do? What
Right.
are you gonna do in life? Like you got to go really um, to the old jobs that are true, like plumbers, stuff like that. Electrician, construction,
Right.
these types of things, because buildings are still being made. Um, Plumbing is important. Electricity is important. The main things that people need to survive, I guess, survive in a way, but
Well,
the amenities
to build the
you need
infrastructure, right?
you
You
need
need
these types of
humans,
things.
right?
Yeah.
But then, well, won't machines perhaps? I mean, you look at that in manufacturing industry, right? Now there are less people working in manufacturing. There are more machines that have taken over, the making of those products. Unless you go to some foreign countries where they have a large population and they choose not to do automation. But guys, what do you think? Is AI going to take over, and how soon do you think it's going to be? Let us know in the comments below. Tony, I think we've got another sponsor.
Yes, sir. Are you looking to add that extra spark on your wedding, corporate, birthday, or celebratory event? Then look no further because 36Q has the best 360 video booth solution that will liven up any party. You'll be creating unique and new memories available to download onto your phone digitally in seconds. This will allow your guests to share their experiences with their friends and family on social media and will definitely help draw in a bigger crowd into your next event. Woo! Big party weekend!
We just had one.
36Q will bring life to any party and have people raving about it even after the event has come to an end. If you would like to find out more information about their video booth solutions, make sure to follow 36Q on Instagram and TikTok at 36Q Video. You can also email them at 36qvideo@gmail.com. And last, you can call them on 438-863-1017. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to make your event stand out from the crowd. And while capturing those special and fun lasting memories forever, thank you for your sponsorship. 36Q, we love you guys. Thank you.
Guys, I'm telling you, take it easy on us. We're a little low energy. We had a big shindig for Tony's 40th birthday this weekend up north at the chalet, and let me tell you, not a lot of us got a lot of sleep, man. It was an epic.
I can't sleep because of y'all. Y'all can't sleep because of me.
I can't sleep because of y'all. Y'all ain't gonna sleep because of me. No, honestly, guys, it was an amazing, amazing weekend. Celebrating Tony's 40th birthday. This man parties like he's 20 years old. I could not keep up with him.
What are you talking about? You were awake and he wakes up. I'm outside talking with my cousin, and his window's open because he's right there. His window was right where the balcony was, or the patio was, whatever. And he comes out. He's awake. I'm like, it's 5:30 in the morning. 6 in the morning. Yeah, I just crash, and then I wake up. I don't wake up until 4 a.m. And this guy was awake the whole time.
Yeah.
Somebody's talking about church congregation on a speaker with a microphone.
Well,
yeah, and how the buildings are expensive, and this. I'm like, what the hell is? But it sounded like something out of television.
It was interesting to say the least, guys. I was awake not by choice, simply because the party went on for hours, guys. And you know what? In an instance like this, when it's your 40th birthday, you got to go hard or go home, right? It was fantastic. The entertainment was amazing. We just had a blast, and we definitely wanted to come here with a little bit more energy. So
we've done pretty good. We've done pretty good.
We're going to do a lot of resting up this week and come back next week with a lot more action, or a lot more energy, rather. All right, moving on to the next segment, guys. It is What Peeves Me Off. And this is one of my favorite segments, Tony. It really is. It feels like therapy almost.
Yeah, you gotta release some anger. You gotta release it.
Absolutely. And so the first one is tailgating. I don't know if this happens to you, Tony, but it really pisses me off. When I'm already driving in the fast lane and there's someone behind you that is literally up your ass. I mean, to be honest, Tony, if I had a shit box of a vehicle, I wouldn't mind brake checking these motherfuckers.
It happened today. I'm driving on the right side of the lane. I got cruise control at 107. Speed limit's 100. I got at 107.
Right.
I got people I got 5 cars back to back. I'm on the right lane. I'm on the right lane for a reason. I just want to cruise. I'm at 107. I'm not going 95.
Right. You're in the slow lane.
I'm in the slow lane. I'm driving 107 on the slow lane.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty decent.
Listen.
And there's people behind me. I'm like, why, man? Why? Go middle or left lane, and it's written. There's a road sign I read, adapté, adapt, so the people, if somebody's going slow, to go around
exactly.
or to go into the left lane. Oh man, this peeves me off, man.
You know what
So
else?
hard.
You know what else pisses me off too, Tony? It's the people at the same time who don't move, to the side. If you're in the fast lane, all right, and in the fast lane, I say it's okay to do about 100, 120 kilometers an hour, all right, in the fast lane, right? And there are some people who just choose to do 100 kilometers an hour in the fast lane and they don't fucking move over, all right? And then they box you in with the other slow drivers in the right lane. And all you want to do is move past, but it's like they don't understand the concept of what the fast lane is. And slower moving traffic should stick to the right lane. So tailgating, guys, I mean, listen, I think 120 is reasonable. 120 kilometers is reasonable. Anything over that, I mean, you don't have to be up someone's ass. If someone in front of you is doing 120 and you're doing 120 and the guy behind you is trying to do 130, that just pisses me off, man. It really does piss me off. And you folks out there who are not moving over for the drivers behind you who are driving faster, I'm telling you, that pisses me off as well. And last but not least, drivers who pass from the right lane. Like when there's 3 lanes on the highway, instead of passing from the left, they pass from the right. And this is so fucking dangerous, guys. This is a hazard. You shouldn't be doing this. The reason they came up with the rule, all right, is because you could seriously get into a serious accident and injure yourself. So, guys, please, for the love of God, if you're going to pass somebody, do it on the left lane.
And look, Cozy just said the cops don't agree with you, Shane, about the 120
Of course
on
not.
the fast lane.
Of course not. But Cozy, if you're not cheating, you're not trying in life, all right? So sometimes you got to bend the rules, not always break. But you guys, let me know what you think about that. Do you guys hate it when people are tailgating you and they're ramming right up your ass? Do you want to brake check them? Let us know what your thoughts are.
You know what? You know what? A good. I don't have it on my car, but I've driven the car that has it. The distance thing from the
Yes.
car. This is pretty good.
It is. I have
This
it
is
as
amazing.
well.
You have it, eh?
Yes.
Oh man, this thing is
It allows you
it's
to
solid.
when you're on cruise control, it allows you to calibrate the distance between you and the car in front of you. So in some instances you could be, a quarter of a car length away, or you could be as far as 2 car lengths away. And so that's a
That's
great
sweet.
feature to have.
And all you're doing is steering
Exactly.
and
And you know what? To
you're
be
good.
honest with you, if everybody was moving at the same speed, all right, there wouldn't be any traffic.
Yeah, but I think it's the lights that cause the traffic, especially in the morning. If you're taking an exit,
I'm
there's a
talking
light.
highway. I'm talking highway.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not talking the lights. I'm talking highway. Lights is a different story. All right,
Yeah.
moving on to the next one, guys, for what peeves me off. Overactive group chats. Guys, I don't know how many group chats I've been added to in the last couple months. All right, and it's always the same goddamn people, but we just label it a different name. With the maybe exception of one or two people here or there, but honestly, guys, I don't know, man.
Overactive group chats. Yeah, man.
Overactive. Sometimes I got to put these group chats on mute, man.
Yeah. Even sometimes when I'm texting, all right, and this happens a lot. It's not just one time story. It's like, and that's why I stopped chatting and stopped getting annoyed because sometimes your friends try to troll you too on the chat, right?
Yeah, big time.
Sometimes and then you're there and you're like texting back, okay, and then your wife, what are you texting about? Oh, I just want to make a point on this about this subject. And then you resort sometimes to voice recording because you're tired of it. Like, okay, I'm tired of typing. I got to do it on the voice recorder. Man, and then there's somebody creates another group, and then
Yeah.
another group, and then oh man,
Tony, the worst thing.
Why?
The worst thing is I've experienced this myself, and you know this because I'll make comments about it. All right, there'll be 2 group chats going on with I'd say 95% of the same people in both group chats, right? And then 2 conversations are going on in those group chats, and in some cases, the same content is being shared in the same group chat. And so I do it purposely to write one word in one group chat and then another word in another group chat and then the next word in the next group chat. So you could figure it the fuck out how annoyed I am, all right, going back and forth reading messages. Why can't there just be one group chat? Keep it in that group chat. And here's another thing, Tony. Should we limit the amount of messages you put in a group chat per day?
I have with a couple of buddies. I have a 3 text message limit. Maybe there
Nice.
should be like a 3 text message
I
limit.
like that rule, man.
But you know what? Also, the problem is that when you're organizing something and you're like, okay, only these people are coming, You want to create a group for that
Right.
because you're like, I don't want to text these people all separately.
Right.
So I'll just create a group, do it. Now that group stays. Now you got another group.
But you're also responsible for cleaning up those group chats as
Yeah.
well, right? Because then I look at my WhatsApp and I've got group chats that haven't been active for like 2 years now. So guys, if you're gonna create one for the purpose of an event, make sure at the end of the event to delete it. All right, because sometimes pocket dials happen. All right,
Yeah.
and then these messages mysteriously show up, and it's just annoying. It
And
really
Corey
is.
said, don't flip flop, just leave the group. Well, look, I did close the group one time. Everybody, why'd you close the group?
Yeah.
Well, because nobody's answering the initial what the group was for, which was for golf. And a couple of people don't even play golf.
We don't name names here.
You don't name names.
We don't name
But
names.
so that group needed to be deleted in full. It just needed to be deleted. Plus, the main guy who always does play golf, who was annoyed that nobody answers.
Yeah.
I usually get most of the answers on separate texts, anyways. So that's the way it is, you know.
I mean, it's
I
really-
deleted a group, and everybody like, what happened? I'm like, yo, why are we living in these groups, man? We got another group where we could all talk,
That's it, man.
or we got our text messages.
Enough with it now, man. We don't need 17 different fucking chat groups in these apps, man. You got them in all different places on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Facebook. It's enough. Enough is enough. All right,
Facebook
guys.
group chats,
Yeah,
whatever.
man,
That's
it's enough.
Yeah,
It's
that's
enough. All right, moving on to the very last topic for what peeves me off. It's escalator etiquette. Now, Tony wasn't really familiar about this one. He had to ask me about this over the
how
weekend.
about we play our game?
And so this happens more or less in the city or in multi-level buildings where there's an escalator, and it's those people who stand on the left side of the escalator when going up. Now, if you've lived in a city, all right, and you've worked downtown and going up the escalator coming from an underground metro system, you know that the right side of the escalator is reserved for those who want to stand in place, and the left side is used for people who want to walk up the escalator because they've got somewhere to go. So it pisses me off when I see people, especially during rush hour, like during traffic, where most of the people are using public transit and going to
And they're all standing up.
and they're all standing on the right side, and then you got a couple assholes who are just standing on the left side, and it's just really annoying. People at the top are looking down on them and judging them, right, and it's showing them like, hey, move your ass, you stupid asshole. That's meant for people.
If you're that guy, you're being judged. All right, you're being judged.
You're not a good human being if you're doing that. You're just not considering, people and their and time. You're not valuing their time.
You're essentially the same as a serial killer. You're a serial
You're
killer.
a psychopath.
Yeah.
You're a psychopath, and you should get help. Literally.
Don't
If
have
you're
children.
one of those people, read self-help books. All right, I'm telling you.
And don't have children until you fix this problem.
Please.
We don't need another human
Continue
being acting like you are.
Safe sex. Please practice safe sex. All right, guys.
That went aggressive, eh? That went aggressive on the escalator.
Yeah.
Not the tailgating. Not the
tailgating
group
too.
chat.
Listen, all these people,
All these
except for the group chat.
No,
because
no.
we've
The
got friends.
escalator etiquette is kind of more. It's more psycho.
It's like where did you grow up? Did you grow up in a dumpster? And you just like Oscar the Grouch, you don't know anything about society.
And if you don't know about escalators, like and some, oh, I apologize. Then okay, you're excused if you're that. But if you're giving a look and you're standing there this whole time,
all I'm saying is, guys, if there's an escalator on the way to heaven, I dare you to stand on the left side and see if God judges you.
Probably that's how they judge you. Where you're standing on the elevator, if you're standing on the left, you're going to hell. That's how it is.
That's the precursor.
That's how it
whether
is.
or not you go to heaven or hell. I like that one. All right, guys, we're moving on to the next topic called what's trending.
Tailgate those guys.
The next one is what's trending, and guys, I don't know, man. Like these two, there's three topics, but these two of them, I don't know, they kind of coincide because I've seen Trudeau now publicly announce that he's given another 500 million of our tax-paying dollars to the Ukraine, and then Biden, there's some blackmail tapes, all right, that are being held by an energy company out of the Ukraine, all right, and they're basically siphoning money from Biden, no pun intended. But these these tapes include Hunter Biden talking about deals between foreign nationals and energy companies and things like that. And so, I don't know. Do you think Canada and some of the politicians are implicated in what's going on in Ukraine? Ukraine does have, a reputation for being quite corrupt. So I don't know, Tony. What do you think, man? You think
But
something's going on? You think Trudeau is part of some? I don't know, man. Something sketchy, and he's paying people off to keep their mouths shut.
I've
Is he part of this? What do you guys
I've
think?
always, said this. Okay, I've said this with any past stories, current stories, any leader. Look, I if you think the government tells you everything, you're completely. I lie to my kids to get them to do what they want, what I want them to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I lie to them sometimes to get them to do something that I need them to do. I lie
So Tony,
to them.
let's.
So
All right.
we think these politicians are not gonna lie
Oh,
for something that they expect either it's the greater good or for their own personal benefit. It does happen. It is happening, and there is something shady about all this money being sent to another country. But here there's inflation and all that type of shit. Look, it may not be. I'm not a connoisseur of how politics works,
right.
but all I know is cost of living goes up here. Everything is going up, but all this type of money goes directly to the Ukraine, and and Canada brings in a lot of immigrants, which is cool. But they get a lot of benefits,
Well, not only
which
that, but
also
like if the Liberal Party's bringing in immigrants, the immigrants are more likely going to vote for a Liberal Party.
exactly.
But okay, so Tony, here's what I'm going to ask you. All right, about this topic about Trudeau giving 500 million to the Ukrainians. Okay, do you think it's for A, to fund the war, B, to cover up some child sex trafficking scandal, all right, or C, I don't know,
I think it could be a C or D situation with all of the above,
or C, hold on,
or
or C,
any other thing that may involve Ukraine knowing something about Canada having something being blackmailing them. I would believe it.
covering up some type of bio lab, Canadian funded bio lab in the Ukraine? So A, it's either are they funding a war, B, is it a cover up for a child sex trafficking ring, or C, is it to cover up some bio lab, Canadian funded bio lab?
Cozy money laundering.
Money laundering, money laundering. It's true. We've heard about the back doors going on in the Ukraine,
military
where
is
billions of dollars is being funded into the Ukraine and then being pulled out by some miraculous back door. What happened to that? Hey, Tony, do you remember not too long ago that $600 million worth of gold went missing at the Toronto Pearson Airport?
them.
And Trudeau is now giving away 500 million? Guys, let's do the math. What happened to that 100
This is
missing million dollars?
interesting.
Guys, you tell me. What do you think? Let us know in the chat below. Kathy says they cannot be trusted. I wholeheartedly agree. They're giving away way too much money. All right, and I think people in this country are definitely suffering and could use a lot more. So yeah, I don't know. Tony, can we see what's next?
Yes. Well, no. I just want to continue talking about this.
Oh, okay.
So for sure, again, anything because we're having complications with the screen up there, so we're gonna have to maybe look at it from here. But of course, there is definitely a lot of issues happening within governments where each of them have something the other one knows about. But the Hunter Biden tapes, look, man, we already know that it's out there.
Right.
We've seen the videos,
Correct.
but nobody gives a shit because in the end, like we've spoken in the past, Shane, it is always about them. The liberals will always vote for liberal. The conservative will always vote for conservative, no matter what, if there's a scandal or not. And that's how it is. We've said this in the past. These two mentalities that we have, we're in it. We're indoctrinated by it. I like Coke because I like it.
Right.
I like the Oakland Raiders because I liked it as my childhood. I like certain things. I like pizza pockets because of my childhood. They'll probably taste like shit. You give it to somebody else will say pizza pocket is the worst shit to eat, but I think it's amazing.
So let me ask you something about this Biden thing, Tony. Do you think there's like a two-tier justice system in the sense that the regular citizen is bound to the laws, but when it comes to like the elites or even the president or the president's son, they obviously get off scot-free. Do you think that that's happening in today's society, and this is a perfect example of it?
100%, Shane. 100%.
Yeah.
And look, here we have. Sorry, guys, we're having a issue on the screen there, but we have just to give Jordy a quick shout out here. It's contracts for military contractors. That was one of the options you had provided, right?
Right.
Shane, it can't be the war because they are sending firearms. So why send money also? Tanks and arms. So why send money also?
Well, you
A lot
have,
of
to buy,
people
you
have
have to buy resources. Let's be honest. You have to buy provisions for these soldiers. I mean, you got to feed them, right? And if you have to understand what the price tag of arming a soldier is. All right, it's not $5,000 to arm a soldier. We're talking about minimum $50,000 per soldier to arm them with defensive equipment and defensive materials like bulletproof vests and helmets and cameras and artillery and all that kind of thing.
FY. Cozy is saying time for a change, and he's got the logo on of the Saints of the V because Derek Carr went from Raiders to thing, and he's telling me leave the Raiders because I'm going to cheer for Derek Carr and the Saints, by the way.
You're terrible.
But
I hate you.
but because he played with the Raiders for a long time. But at the same time, I can never leave my team, but I will cheer. But see, again, we are stuck to our ways.
Yeah.
And no matter all of these tapes, I don't know why Biden's worried about it. He's tripped.
Worried about it.
He's tripped. Trudeau. I don't think Trudeau needs to worry about it because there's people that like him, and they're gonna vote for him, or they're gonna vote for him because he's liberal. Like I remember when I was younger, and a lot of kids are voting nowadays. And let me tell you something: young people are not really that smart.
No.
They say, "I'm sorry, no, it's not." Like in terms of this thing, they're very naive. They're very naive. They think that, like Biden, okay, he writes a tweet. I help lower gas. You started the problem, right? Trudeau said, I never forced you to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
But and then people, no, he didn't force you. You just couldn't eat at a restaurant. It's not forcing. You could take your phone, but just don't go to a restaurant. Like that's forcing.
Yeah, man.
Like if somebody can't go to a
coercion.
exactly.
And coercion is a form of force.
Exactly. Right? So it's we're just all fixed into this. So Trudeau has done his thing. He has the blackface thing. He's got all that stuff. Biden has the tapes that are out. His son's tapes are out. He falls. Everybody, oh, he's just old man. It's okay. Like we're not going to change this.
We got Berta Proud Dad here. He's saying voting don't fix anything. And you know what? Him and I were talking on TikTok Live last week, and he made a really good point how we can change the democratic system so that we can use blockchain technology to vote on serious matters. So imagine this, Tony. Imagine you get an alert on your device about an important topic that's happening in Canada where the government now needs our vote to determine whether or not they're going to pass something into legislation. So they use a form of blockchain technology that allows us to cast our votes through our electronic devices, all right? And any auditors can come in and backtrack where those votes are coming from, right? So essentially, we've got the people now who are voting on the issues as opposed to politicians who are pushing legislation through that people like you and I didn't vote for. Like this Bill C-11. I didn't vote, for it to pass. No, it was something that was brought up by these politicians, and they decided to push it through the Senate, push it through the House, and unfortunately, we had no buy-in on that. And then we have these individuals as well who are going to these town hall meetings talking about 15-minute cities. But wait a minute, did you vote for the development of 15-minute cities in your country or in your city? We certainly didn't. All right, moving on to the very last topic of what's trending, guys. We're going down Holly Weird route, all right? And it's Kanye West. Now, guys, I don't know if you realized, like a couple months ago, Kanye West was on everybody's news feed, whether it was Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Oh yeah.
Reddit. I mean, he was everywhere saying some pretty crazy shit. Neo-Nazi symbols in his clothing, breaking ties with Balenciaga and Adidas. I mean, he was literally a whistleblower for what he appears to be observing in the Hollywood world. And he's been very, very vocal about certain topics, but lately, Tony, I don't know. I haven't heard much about him other than some recent photos of him online looking like some sort of SpongeBob SquarePants character, Squidward character with these big shoulder pads on. I don't know.
And look at that. And look exactly what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Kanye was a whistleblower.
Yeah.
He's been in the industry, but a lot of people don't listen. They don't want to listen. They put it out as hate. Look, you know what? When he said the thing about the Jewish people,
Right.
okay,
How they
it's
control,
like how they
media.
control. Yeah, if he said that, let's say if he said that about Armenians, I'd be like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, that's right, that's right.
All publicity.
If they said that about me, if I'm Italian, like Italians say, yo, Italians run the the best food or whatever. They run shit in New York. Let's say,
Right.
no, Italians like that's right, but be quiet, motherfucker. You know?
Right about it.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as the mafia.
Yeah.
There's no such.
Well, I don't know. There isn't anymore because, anyways, it's rare now because everybody's got cameras and stuff for
Yeah.
mafia. So the mafia age, I don't know about that, but when Italians run this, yeah, fuck yeah, we run this shit.
So are you saying-
Especially something as big as Hollywood, running Hollywood. Already Hollywood is news and this that. So all he said is really that the Jews run this shit.
And you think that the Jews should take this as a compliment, right? Like it shouldn't be something for us to be concerned about. They should basically be taking that shine, taking that praise, taking that clout, and running with it.
Yeah, man, Jews are probably like, there's a few groups of people, religion, or whatever you want to call that, you don't want to mess with,
Right.
Which is why, like Andrew Tate has said it, and a lot of things I agree, a lot of things I don't agree, but one thing he said that, they put Jesus's gay shirts, they put this, that, rainbow on the Jesus.
They
Do that. Yeah, they mock Christianity, but do that
with
Muslims, yeah. Muslims are a strong group of people, man, and they're not to be messed with. The Jewish community, they're not to be messed with, especially in Hollywood.
And you know what? What's funny is that Kanye West been saying like they're coming after your kids, and Balenciaga was like the first, clothing manufacturer to come out with marketing that had children dressed up in gothic and BDSM, S&M and type clothing, and he was the first one to speak out about it. And now you see Target, all right, for Pride Month, you see Target coming out with these clothing articles. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second, Cozy. We see Target now for Pride Month marketing these articles with pentagrams on them and the head of Satan. I mean, like, if this was an Arabic country or Muslim country, all right, and Target went in there and put some anti-Muslim, type of imagery, let me tell you, that Target would be burned to the ground. So why is it okay to mock the Christian religion and God and Jesus with this imagery? And then why is it okay to be selling it to children? And
leave the children out of it. But it's weird. Some people, they're not realizing this.
And so, sorry, I want to address Cozy's comment here. He's saying Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's going to be coming out with a documentary, a 4-part documentary exposing the child trafficking in the United States. And just to get back to what we were saying about Kanye, he was one of the first people to say that they were going to come after the kids, right? And now we don't hear so much about it. How come?
But let me tell you, Adidas lost a lot of sales, and they brought him back, right?
Right.
I know he's working in the background, but they brought him back. They need him, and look, Marie's writing. He lost a lot of people just by that one comment, but it was really, to me, it was. And there's this other guy I know that he also writes a lot, Eric PZ. He's a guy who worked in the U.S. And he's like, what he said is not wrong. In Hollywood, there's a lot of weird things,
Mhm.
and there's stuff above uh, that happens. That everything that Kanye mentioned was right because he's heard it. He's seen big Hollywood
Right.
execs. He's done produced videos for Ty Dolla Sign, these types of people. So it is something that again, see, just like the government can control you,
Yeah.
Hollywood can control. They can make him look like the bad guy, and they're putting stuff with for kids tucking a boy's
I
penis like
know,
underwear.
man. This
Like
is getting
it's putting it
ridiculous.
right in front of your faces,
But now he's
and you're
talking.
still voting for like this liberal thing. It doesn't make sense, guys.
Uh,
Even like and BLM, look when we went on the convoy. Oh, you're racist. They see one thing. They try to plant something.
yeah.
You're racist. The
They label you. They put
they
the
label
on
you. They put the label like the BLM. It's a good thing. Like Black Lives Matter. Yes, like the thing. What it is, it's really good. But do you know that the people in it have laundered money and
Oh,
they
they
bought
gave it
money?
to the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. And this
They bought
LGBTQ.
a $6 million mansion in Toronto, Canada. But I'm really curious, Tony. I mean, like he was doing all this talking and exposing all of this, all right. But now he doesn't seem to be saying much about it. So that it begs the question: is he being controlled? Right?
Yeah.
Because he was even talking about it even most recently, where a former Canadian intelligence officer was his handler, and his handler was saying, if you start talking out of line, we're going to drug you up real good and start giving you all these medications to quiet you down. So, I find that pretty weird that Kanye's back in the media, but not because he's saying something crazy, just because he looks a little weird with these shoulder pads underneath his clothing. He
Yeah.
literally looks like a football player. I really have to tell you.
Yeah.
All right, but moving on to the next, we have another sponsor, Swag IPTV. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn how to access over 3,500 live TV channels, which include live sports, local and international channels, along with on-demand movies and TV series on your Fire Stick, Android, or Apple device, then look no further. Go to www.swagiptv.com for all the details on how you can access this and all of your favorite TV shows and sports, live or on the go. Thank you very much, Swag IPTV, for your sponsorship. We love you very, very much.
Swag.
All right, moving on to the next topic, story time. I just felt the need to want to share a little embarrassing story about myself. When I was about 9 or 10 years old, my grandmother brought me to Hungary. Half my heritage is Hungarian, and so she brought me to Hungary to visit my relatives. And this was, Tony, during the period of time where kids were going back to school, right? It was the time of year where kids were going back to school. So at one point in the year, during the trip, it got very, very lonely because kids were going to school during the day. And right across the street from the house where we were staying was a little soccer field. And in Hungary, what they have is these little metal, I don't know, huts that they put over the bench area so that it doesn't get wet. And every afternoon when the kids would come back from school, we'd play soccer together. And, some of the kids were older, ranging from the ages of 12 to 16 years old. And one day, one of the teenagers brought these, pornographic paper clippings and told me that if ever I was curious or bored during the day, that I could always come and look at them. And so he left them underneath the bench, underneath the metal rack, so it wouldn't get wet.
Where is this going?
So one day, after a couple of days of not even thinking about it, I was bored and decided to, pique my curiosity and go see what these clippings and pornographic paper clippings were all about. But lo and behold, it was roughly around the same time when kids were getting off to school. And so they would always come through this path that would come to the soccer field. And one afternoon, all the kids were coming back, ladies and gentlemen, from school. And there was this beautiful, beautiful teenage Hungarian girl, Tony. I mean, I almost fell in love, honestly. I think it was one of my first love attractions. I was about 10 years old.
Makes sense.
She caught me looking at these pornographic paper clippings. And my face, ladies and gentlemen, immediately got red when she confronted me and asked me what I was looking at. And so
How
I
old was
told
she?
her, She was about 15, 16 years old, but I mean,
Damn.
beautiful. And she came up to me and asked me what I was doing, and I showed her the paper clippings. And Tony, I didn't even have an opportunity to explain how I came into this, how I came into possession of these paper clippings. All right. And she immediately looked at me and said, "Do you want to see the real thing?" And she started to open up her blouse. And just like Tony's face, that was the face that I had. I was like, "Yeah, please." And so as she started to pull her shirt apart, and she saw me looking and drooling, she smacked me in my face and called me a little pig and told me she'd rat me out to my grandmother.
Wow. And did she rat you out?
No, because I ran away crying like a little bitch. But
Yeah, good. That's
love,
character building.
yeah,
We're building character
we're
there.
building character here.
Oh my
So
god.
shout out to that girl. I don't know who you are, but I hope you're living a good life. I learned valuable lessons because of you.
Imagine if she has like an OnlyFans account.
Oh my god,
That'd be hilarious.
that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. All right, guys, we're winding down. We're winding down the hour. We're about to close off the show. We've got one more segment, and it's a new segment. So let us know if you guys want us to bring it back up in any future segments. It's called Conspiracy Talk, Tony. And as I mentioned earlier in the episode, we posted a video asking people on the street what their favorite conspiracy theory was. And it was our best performing video on TikTok. So I thought we would talk about some of the conspiracy theories that we've been hearing about recently, and we dig deeper into them. So, Tony, the wildfires and climate change. For those of you who are not from Canada or from the region of Quebec, Montreal, we've had some wildfires going on, and a lot of that smoke has made its way to New York and the United States, causing the air quality to be very, very poor. But Tony, there was a lot of videos circulating of helicopters with this, apparatus spewing out incendiary sparks into the forests across Quebec. All right, and we've seen these videos circulating, and so I'm wondering, Tony, do you think that this is like a conspiracy where they're purposely causing these wildfires to create such pollution and smog in the air and atmosphere, and then blaming it on climate change?
Well, look, obviously, right, they are doing some kind of tricks. But look, the thing we're gonna talk about also is that we always say it. We can't believe anything we hear, whether it's from legacy media or from new media, right?
Right.
There's a lot of things, unless you're there, you cannot really explain it. And even if somebody's there, they will find a way to twist it. But do I believe that helicopters dropped some stuff? Because if you see, there was the satellite view of how the fire started, and they all started.
simultaneously.
So yeah, and that was a bit weird. And I don't know, is that a real video? Why would that video be fake? But
And then some
like I say, with AI, that's the problem with AI as well, right? Everything can be tricky. You're talking about Weekend and Drake song. Everybody thought it was a real song.
Yeah.
It's we don't know. We don't know what's real. We don't know what's real. We don't know what we
real or not, or if it's generated, right? But then some people are also saying, what Tony is saying about the fires all starting simultaneously in these different locations. Some people are saying that the government has found precious resources in those locations, purposely started those fires so that they could mine those locations, right, for those materials. But at the same time, all right, deem it to be climate change so that they continue to double and triple down on their climate tax, right, on their climate change tax. So, guys, let us know what you think about these wildfires and whether or not it's some type of government control tactic. Are they going to introduce climate change lockdowns as a result of this? Do you think this is the agenda that they're trying to push, guys? Let us know. We want to hear the comments, or we want to read the comments in the chat, guys.
Yeah, man. See,
Yeah, Cozy saying, what a coincidence that all the fires started at the same time, and and in very close proximity. Is it HARP? Is it technology that they're using to
I believe they
manipulate the weather and start these fires through some form of technology that was developed in the late 80s?
There was an article about that. I remember my wife telling me or telling me about they have a machine that can create the change weather, make it rainy, this, that. But look, man, it's all possible. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs, right? That was
Yeah.
a weather. So look, maybe they're putting it right in front of our faces, and we don't know. But we don't know what we don't know, and we have to take every single thing with a grain of salt. Because, like I said, they can. These people have the power to do a lot of things
Right.
and to make a lot of things go. And there's a lot of people that have the power to approve these things, and they pay other people very well because they're printing the money anyways.
Right.
So they can pay them well. And me always say the printing money.
Yeah.
It's they can print money, they can give money to anything, and then they're gonna say inflation because of the value of the dollar, this, that. The fact is this is all paper and we're all I had a thing today, I had cash in my hand, I'm like, this is what people fight about.
Yeah, man.
This is what it's all about. And it's nothing like if we're gonna destroy the earth with fires like this, or maybe it can never be destroyed, I don't know, but if we're gonna destroy it like this for the for people's personal gains now, it's a sad world. There's a lot of
Yeah, man.
there's a lot of evil. We're talking about before children, tummy tucks, and child sex, child
Yeah, man.
trafficking. You see the things we spoke about today,
Yeah,
outside of the
man.
outside of the light stuff of tailgating, escalator stuff. But we talked about money being given, blackmail tapes, this, that. These people don't care about it. There's evil, and unfortunately, you can't change that.
Kathy is saying that everything is man-made, just like COVID. So are these wildfires. It's these,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a small group of elites, that believe that they can control society.
They are controlling society. They are
through
controlling
forms of
society.
media and things of that nature. Moving on to the next conspiracy theory: 15-minute cities. All right, and so I was reading up about this and saw some videos about it. They want to create 15-minute cities, so they're building buildings, Tony, that are not only residential, but they're commercial and they're also workplaces, so that you can live in the building that you work in, and you can shop in the building that you live in. And they don't make enough parking spaces for vehicles for the number of tenants living in those buildings. So essentially, this conspiracy is about keeping a controlled population in a designated area, right? And then I was thinking about this, and I'm like, well, fuck, we already live in 15-minute cities, because where can't you get, like, what can't you access within 15 minutes from where you live, Tony? You can get your groceries, you can find a job within 15 minutes, you could go to a hospital or a doctor, you could do your groceries, you could do anything within 15 minutes of where we live now, even as a result, like in community. You could go and enroll your kids in sports within the community within 15 minutes from here. So, like, essentially, we're already living in 15-minute cities. But then I think it becomes the question of, do these powers that be want to restrict your mobility from one 15-minute city to another 15-minute city? Meaning, well, this 15-minute city is controlling this particular narrative, and we don't want the people in this 15-minute city to know what's going on over here. What are your thoughts about that, Tony?
One thing that I want to know is, in these 15-minute cities with the jobs that are over there and all that, what is the vacation situation like? Because one of the things that if you want to build something like this, you want to keep the people there, which means you don't want them to go travel.
Right.
One of the main things for me that's very important, I'm realizing more and more in life that I want to travel like somewhere more and more, but because of the life that we live, it's harder to do that, right? You can go, you can go certain places, but you have certain vacation weeks. This is for the general public, right? You have certain amount of weeks that you can work. You have certain amount of vacations that you can take, depending how long you've worked at a certain place. So you're generally stuck in this area, which is always the case.
Right.
You know,
you're doing staycations instead of vacations.
Exactly, and then when you have vacations, you are doing staycation. So how are these 15-minute city jobs going to work? Already a lot of at-home work, but I know bosses want employees to come back to office, and they want to go back to that, especially the ones that are more conservative. But look, man, as long as the traveling is allowed to other countries, that's where, like, okay, if they want you to stay in one place, they don't want you to go to another country on a vacation.
That's where it becomes a little tricky. I think it ties into like the social credit system where if your carbon footprint is really, really low, you'll be afforded the luxury of being able to travel to other areas in the world, right? But if you're somebody who frequently travels from, one 15-minute city to another, or from one country to another frequently, and you're now being measured on how much your carbon emission is as a result of your travels, they may decide to restrict your ability to travel or how frequently you travel. So, I think that that's the case. Cozy's saying they restrict people from flying, grocery shopping, and eating at restaurants. Test run was a success.
And
That's a very,
that's
very
right.
good point.
That's right,
a
man.
very good point, right? If you didn't get the jibby jab, all right, you couldn't get on a plane, train, or automobile, like Trudeau says, and put vaccinated people at risk. How do you put a vaccinated person at risk? Didn't they take the vaccine to mitigate the risk? But that's a story for another time, right? But then they restricted your ability to go eating at restaurants or grocery shopping, right? So,
But then look, but then also Marie, like who works from, I get to work every day
in
in 2 seconds.
So we're already
So
living in
there's
15-minute cities.
so
in
there is
respect.
certain things that but working from home it takes a special type. You have to really be after you have to go out a bit because if you stay home too long, you can go nuts. And that's the thing, though. You need to go out. You need to get some air. Even if it's driving an hour away or driving to another country, see the cultures and stuff. They don't want you to see that because you're gonna see that. You're like, oh man, there's a different way of living than this.
That's right. And then we're going to start asking for it, and the powers that be can't have that. No, no, no. All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking in there. We've got one more topic for conspiracy talk, and it's celebrity cloning. And this is an interesting one, guys, because I've been seeing this, more and more frequently. Um, Joe Biden being cloned, Kanye West being cloned, Whitney Houston being cloned, Drake being cloned, all these celebrities being cloned. So the idea, Tony, is that when these celebrities start breaking away from the narrative that these powers that be are trying to push, right, and they start misbehaving, they simply replace them with their clone who is a little bit more obedient to the suggestions that are being put forth by the powers that be. What are your thoughts about that, Tony? You think?
There have been some pictures where I see of there was one of Tyler Perry where the eyes
Yes.
they all was different, like or Hillary Clinton or Biden or such celebrities, and I'm like, no, sometimes there's a wrinkle, but there's the earlobe that's different.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
that.
okay, is it because they're old or is it because? But when was this picture taken? When was this a few years ago? Like, because the body changes, but if it
Yes.
was from one week to the next,
Then something
like,
fishy's going on, right?
yeah. But also that eye thing, it's like it is weird to me. Look, man, I don't know. They could be doing some sacrificial. Kanye had said about Michael Jordan's dad. It was sacrificial.
Yes.
Talking about other celebrities losing a family member. They were more of a sacrifice.
And then if you notice, like, if you go down the rabbit hole of like Satan and satanic cults and Satanism, I think one of the things is like you have to like embarrass yourself in public or in a public way. And so you look at these like events like the Oscars or the Met Gala, and you see these celebrities dressed up in these most embarrassing or weird looking outfits, and you're wondering, is this their way of being initiated into like the Illuminati or the satanic cults? Is this what they're doing? They're embarrassing themselves so that they could get the kitty blood and all that stuff. Is that what it is, man?
Because for sure, in that area, that region of the world, the Hollywood, the Hollywood
weirdos.
So these people, okay,
What do you
for
mean
sure,
these people, Tony? What do you mean these people?
for sure, these people and the guy Eric that I mentioned, that's like their thing is to be immortal.
Yes, live
They
forever,
have-
right?
They want to live forever, and they have this obsession with it. And I guess they try everything they can, the baby blood, whatever it is.
I mean, look
Stem
at
cell.
Madonna. Look at Madonna.
Oh no, no,
No, guys.
hey, look, hey, can I say something?
She looks like she should be cast in the next Broadway musical cast.
You know what she should be cast at? You know who's her family member? The little bicycle man from the movie Saw. Their cousin.
Yes.
It's her cousin. Like I don't get it, dude. I don't get what people like about this. And her ass is thick. Her ass does not look good, dude. No, it does not, man. Like, come on, man.
She does not look
What
good
is
at all.
happening?
I
Why?
don't know, man.
Oh, Madonna, look how she's body positive. How are you body positive if you're altering your body? No.
man. And
Go
she's-
get old, get wrinkly, man. That's body
She's in
positivity.
her mid to late 60s, right? And she's twerking, all right? And she's being seen in the likes of Antonio Brown and with Antonio Brown and Kanye West and all these iconic people. I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, they've got
It's weird, man.
they're
It's really
sacrifices. They're nothing but pawns.
weird. Yeah. And you know what else?
And look at Britney Spears. Like Britney Spears has gone off the rails.
You know what
man.
else is weird though, Tony? It's like we think that Madonna's part of the satanic cult and stuff like that, but then she's also got these like kid foundations or I don't know how you call them, these charities where they're taking orphan children from Africa.
But that's they show that to take away from other things.
I think,
Just like I was telling you.
I think that they're trafficking those children, man.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. It's they'll show you the good stuff. If there's bad things, that'll be called okay. We need to cover it up. This and that. And there's a lot of things that go on there. They control everything. They control everything. Whatever it is that BlackRock people
Yes.
and the Rothschild or whatever like this.
Vanguards and the
Vanguard.
Tony,
They
I
all
know,
control.
we keep talking about this. We might get canceled, man.
Man,
Guys,
what?
we're not back next week. Just know it was the powers that be. We are not suicidal. All right.
How many followers we got? Like 1,500 on TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, 1,500 people.
You
We're
never know,
big
bro.
time, bro.
You never know, Tony.
If we get more,
We might get silent.
hey, help us get canceled. Because if we get canceled, that means we reach a certain
Bad
level.
publicity is good publicity.
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our segment for today, and that's our show. Thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate it. One more time, happy birthday to Tony, 40th birthday.
Thank you, and happy Father's Day to all the Father's Day.
to all you fathers out there.
Or now we should say happy human who has a penis, who was born and identifies cisgender.
It's
Your cis
happy,
male peeing standing up type of person who puts the seat bowl up
It's happy
and who
human,
doesn't.
It's happy human who provides the seed bit.
Oh,
Happy human who provides the seed.
I like that.
So
I like
to all
that.
you humans providing seeds out there, happy day to you.
That's right.
And happy birthday to you, Tony.
Thanks, my man.
Happy 40th, man.
Thank you, man. Big time. It was fun weekend, and
It was amazing, man.
I'm gonna go to sleep right after this. Right away. Don't miss the bowl. Hey, that's why I sit down now. I'm an old man.
That's right. And it's better for the
It's better for the prostate.
prostate.
If
The
you
things-
listen,
the things people will learn on this
Yeah.
show, eh?
that's right.
Hey,
That's right.
all right, Tony, take us out, man.
You're here. There's nothing I fear, and I know that my life will go on.
Oh, hell no.
You gotta shut it down.
Good night.
We'll stay forever this way. Peace, guys.